today's Dev Diary, they are going to be talking about the 1.6.2 update. Now, even though this looks like a very small, short little update, it actually has a ton of information packed in it once you click this little spoiler thing, which we'll cover in just a minute. So some of the main basics of this, the main topics at least, are that they increased the research bonuses, where pretty much they actually explained that they kind of a bit, lowballed our estimates a bit with the new research impacts, where the idea that it would be faster overall despite many of the new techs to accommodate the research companies have been improved, along with ministers and computer techs also have increased buffs to make them more worth it. Details in the patch notes below. So in a second we're going to go into this little information right here and cover that. Also, they've done some things like making the Soviets mount a better defense. Pretty much all this does is just change up how they are kind of placing troops, I guess you could say, when they're at war with Germany and all this other stuff. And I guess from what they're saying here, there was an issue recently apparently where a lot of people were saying that once Russia goes to war, they pretty much pull all their troops off the Japanese border. And if you're going up against an AI, I can kind of see why that would be kind of boring for Japan just to do a cakewalk through Russia. Next, it seems as though they've changed some stuff up, and now the allies, at least, are going to be more concentrated in Africa. Previously, as a lot of videos I've done, pretty much what ends up happening is the AI barely is able to hold on to Africa and mostly goes to home defense, but apparently now the AI is going to prioritize fighting over it a lot more, and the UK should be making smarter early choices and focuses and ministers, etc. So I'm very excited to see this little bit of information right here about the whole they're going to start prioritizing Africa, so when I play as the US, and a lot of other people do too, they're not going to have to worry about, going in there and then having to take all of Africa back because they've already gotten down to South Africa. Next, the Naval Invasion AI has been improved. Apparently, it left China being crushed by Japan a bit too fast and often, so we have turned down the Japanese strategy. Pretty much, it's just, instead of going into too many details trying to explain this more in simple terms, the AI is not going to go nuts with naval invasions now, doing one in every single spot, and at the same time, they're also going to try to do more concentrated naval invasions and stuff like that. Next, Airwing names are no longer lost on save load. Now, I don't really know about this issue, but apparently there was a small little bug where people would deploy Airwings, they could rename them, and once they did save game and load it up, there was some other problems. Now we're going to go into this massive thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and skip all the bug fixes because you guys can pause the video and check these out, zoom in a little bit. I'm more concerned not with the balance, the balance I guess would be kind of interesting to know. For example, the big one I'm excited about now, well, not too excited, this right here, research companies is now going to, instead of have 10%, they're going to have 15%. Or I guess that means 10 to 15%, but I'm sure the majority will probably be at least 15. Also, the Doctor and Minister's research bonus, which was 7%, is now 10, and the 10% guys are now up to 15. Electronical Mechanical Engineering research bonus, instead of 2%, is now 3. Mechanical Computing is 3 to 4. Computing Machine. As you can see, this really... Ooh, Refuge Scientist research bonus, 3 to 5%, so I can already see a way to get 10% USA research. Refuge Italian and German scientists spam in multiplayer. Don't actually do that, but as you can see here, they have done a lot of stuff, more specifically around boosting research time, I guess, and I'm one of those people who were complaining that a lot of the stuff was just way too far off now. So pretty much the main part of this is just saying they've increased research times, stuff like that. They've changed some of the UI information, which is not too interesting. Then the AI stuff here is a little bit interesting too. Now, the main topics in here that I was able to catch with my eye, at least for a little while, is going to be the first one, that the British AI should now pick ministers better to make use of Stanley Baldwin. British AI should no longer take early mobilization as a better use of political power. I don't know why they would do that, but anyway. The British AI should no longer offer your refuge to German scientists until a certain amount of time has passed. Now that one's kind of surprising to me, the AI would not be able to take that very early on, but anyway. That's kind of the main things I noticed about this. Oh, and Japan will now avoid too aggressive early invasions. So I guess there's something in there now in the code that's going to stop Japan from doing too many naval invasions. This stuff here with the stability, I'm not really too much aware of what this is, but apparently there was DDS file issues, which if you don't know, those are Photoshop kind of image pictures that, I guess minimap data loading. I don't really know what that is entirely. I think it just means there was an issue loading up some of the images and stuff like that in the game. And then down here we have the database, which in my opinion is probably going to be the most noticeable things aside from the research people are going to notice when they start a new game. Now they've changed it up, so finally The big one here is they finally added a Marine Division template to HOL. I don't know if the USA got one. I haven't really caught that in here. I've looked over it a few times, but I would hope this means the United States now has a Marine template, because they don't start with one, even though they start with Marines. But anyway, so they've tweaked the Chamberlain design event, so now it should only fire if Poland has fallen, apparently, or something along those lines, and slightly increase the required surrender progress required for Denmark, Norway, and the Low Countries of France. So I guess now you have to actually take Paris and a few other places as well before it actually will capitulate. Next, the United States will now start with 2 Yorktown carriers under construction if you start in 1936. Italy has 2 Vittoria, I guess, I don't know, class battleships under construction in 1936, man the guns only, man the guns only. They changed some starting research for Italy. France now starts with 1 Richelieu class battleship. I can't speak French or any of that stuff. And if you start in 1939, apparently they're going to start with a Jean Bart and a Clemenceau. I do a horrible French accent, probably. Anyway, so the British, they also have an HMS Aurora, I think. I should probably quit naming these ships. I'm doing a horrible job. But the Move to Town class light cruiser template, add a Marine Division template to HOL. I guess that means Holland? I don't know, but I really hope there's one for the US soon, if not. Next, the Commonwealth ties can be taken if UK overlord of a Dominion civilian war faction. Or I might have misspoke with that. Let me re-say that again. Commonwealth ties can now be taken if UK is overlord of Dominion civil war factions. So I'm not entirely sure exactly what they were trying to say here, but to me it sounds like they're saying that you can now do the Commonwealth ties if the UK is still the overlord of a Dominion if it's involved in a civil war or something along those lines. I could be totally wrong, but the Imperial Conference is no longer impossible if the UK accepts destroyers based from the US. Remove the claim Romania gets on Bulgaria from the relevant event, which I'm not sure why. And then the big one here in this little information thing in the database, reach out to the WHERE group is now available for both democratic and communist governments. So guys, that is this week's dev diary. I'm pretty sure it's live as this video comes out right now, or if it's not, it should be out in a few minutes. So anyway, yeah, this is all the information here that you guys can get with the dev diary, everything else. Pretty much, in my opinion, this is going to be an absolute massive update, and this is going to really change the whole game. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome.